The Power of Negotiation. How to Get What You Want from People. Written by Justice O. Malcolm. Published by Audiobook Library 20. Introduction. Negotiation isn't just for boardrooms and business deals. It's a vital skill that applies every day in every interaction you have. In The Power of Negotiation, How to Get What You Want Every Day, you'll learn that every conversation is an opportunity to negotiate for what you want, shaping your life's path with every word you speak. Whether you're discussing chores with a roommate, pitching a new idea at work, or planning a family holiday, negotiation is at the heart of your ability to influence the outcome. This book demystifies the process, showing you that successful negotiation doesn't rely on manipulation or aggression, but on understanding, strategy, and mutual respect. Throughout these pages, you'll discover key negotiation principles that you can apply in personal and professional contexts. You'll learn how to prepare for every discussion, how to read and adapt to different communication styles, and how to find creative solutions that benefit all parties. This book not only teaches you how to get what you want, but also how to do so in a way that builds relationships rather than breaking them. The Power of Negotiation provides a toolkit for effective communication, including techniques for managing conflict, building empathy, and maintaining composure under pressure. Each chapter offers actionable advice on how to negotiate for the best possible outcome, backed by examples from real-life scenarios that demonstrate these techniques in action. You will also gain insights into the psychological foundations of negotiation, understanding what drives other people's decisions and how to respond to them. With this knowledge, you can approach negotiations more strategically, increasing your chances of success. Prepare to transform the way you interact with the world. The Power of Negotiation. How to Get What You Want Every Day is more than a book. It's a guide to getting more out of life by mastering the art of negotiation. So step up, speak out, and start getting what you deserve with every conversation you have. Imagine if you could influence outcomes to your advantage, whether it's in business deals, salary discussions, or daily interactions. That's the power of negotiation. It's not about manipulation, but about understanding and interpreting human dynamics to achieve desired results. Chapter 1. Understanding the Fundamentals of Negotiation. Without a solid grounding in the fundamentals of negotiation, you're fundamentally stepping into a game with no understanding of the rules. But don't worry, it's easier than you might think to get to grips with these core concepts. Firstly, negotiation is not a battle to be won, but a process where the goal is mutual satisfaction. You're not trying to defeat an opponent, but to find a solution that works for both parties. Recognizing this shifts your perspective and allows for more productive discussions. Secondly, effective communication is key. You can't negotiate if you don't understand what the other party wants, and they can't understand your needs if you don't express them clearly. Listen actively to what's being said and respond thoughtfully. Ask questions to clarify points, and don't be afraid to repeat back what you've heard to confirm everyone is on the same page. Thirdly, remember that negotiation is about compromise. You're unlikely to get everything you want, but that's okay. The goal is to reach an agreement that everyone can live with, not to walk away with all the spoils. Finally, keep in mind the power of patience. Negotiation can take time, and you may have to revisit issues several times before a resolution is found. Stay calm, stay focused, and don't rush the process. Understanding these fundamentals will give you a strong foundation upon which to build your negotiation skills. And remember, every successful negotiation brings you one step closer to getting what you want. Chapter 2. Developing a Negotiation Strategy. Having a solid understanding of negotiation fundamentals is a game changer, but that's just the beginning. It's time to kick things up a notch by developing a killer negotiation strategy. This isn't just about walking into a room and hoping for the best. It's about crafting a well-thought-out game plan that'll help you get what you want. First, you've got to know your objectives. What are you aiming to achieve? By having a clear goal in mind, you'll be able to steer the negotiation in the direction you want. Don't just think about what you want, though. Consider what the other person wants too. Understanding their needs and desires will give you a leg up, allowing you to craft a deal that's appealing to both parties. Next, assess your strengths and weaknesses. Where do you excel, and where could you improve? This self-awareness will help you leverage your strengths and work on your weaknesses, making you a force to be reckoned with at the negotiation table. Chapter 3. Preparing for the negotiation process. Diving into the negotiation process without proper preparation is like setting sail in stormy seas without a compass. It's a surefire way to sink your chances of success. You wouldn't step into a boxing ring without knowing your opponent's strengths and weaknesses, would you? Similarly, it's critical to understand the person you're negotiating with, their needs, and what they value most. Start by researching your negotiation partner. Understand their background, interests, and past negotiations, if possible. You're not prying into their personal life. You're equipping yourself with crucial information that can shape your negotiation tactics. Know the market conditions too, as they can greatly influence your negotiation. Next, identify your objectives clearly. What do you want to achieve from this negotiation? Be specific. Don't just aim for a good deal. Define what good means in this context. Is it a lower price, better terms, or something else? Your goals will guide your strategy, so set them wisely. Also, establish your BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. This is your plan B if the negotiation doesn't go as expected. Having a robust BATNA gives you the power to walk away if the deal isn't beneficial for you. Chapter 4. Building rapport and trust. Once you've armed yourself with an understanding of your negotiation partner and a clear set of objectives, it's time to cultivate a relationship. Building rapport and trust is essential in any negotiation process. It's not merely about winning an argument. It's about establishing a connection that fosters mutual respect and a willingness to compromise. Consider the value of authenticity. Be genuine and sincere. People can sense when you're putting on a facade, and it can quickly erode trust. Show genuine interest in the other party's perspective and listen attentively. This shows respect for their opinions, which can go a long way toward building trust. Remember, rapport doesn't develop overnight. It's a gradual process built on shared experiences and sustained interaction. Find common ground, shared interests or mutual acquaintances, to start conversations. This helps to humanize you in the eyes of your negotiation partner, making it easier to establish rapport. A key aspect of rapport building is consistency. People trust those who are reliable and consistent in their actions and words. Make sure your words align with your actions. If you say you're going to do something, follow through. Lastly, be patient. Trust is a fragile thing, and it takes time to build. Don't rush the process. Take the time to cultivate a relationship that's based on trust and mutual respect, and you'll find yourself in a better position to negotiate and achieve your objectives. In the end, the power of negotiation lies not just in your ability to persuade, but also in your capacity to build and maintain trust. Chapter 5. Effective Communication Techniques. Let's cut to the chase. Effective communication is the linchpin of successful negotiation. It's more than just talking and listening. It's about understanding, persuading, and influencing. But how do you communicate effectively? First, be clear and concise. The more straightforward your message, the less room there is for misunderstanding. Don't use 10 words when 5 will do. Refrain from jargon or complex language that may confuse your counterpart. You're not trying to impress, you're trying to communicate. Next, use persuasive language. This doesn't mean manipulative or coercive language, but rather making a compelling case for your views. Use facts, figures, and logical arguments to support your stance. Show that what you're asking for is reasonable, beneficial, or necessary. In addition, ponder nonverbal cues. More than half of communication is nonverbal, so be mindful of your facial expressions, gestures, and body language. A simple smile, nod, or maintaining eye contact can substantially improve the way your message is received. Lastly, show empathy. Understand the other person's perspective and show that you value their opinions. This not only builds rapport, but also makes your counterpart more likely to ponder your views. Chapter 6. Listening and Responding Strategically. Beyond the art of expressing your own thoughts, the power of negotiation also lies within your ability to listen and respond strategically. This is not about simply hearing the words that are spoken. Instead, it's about understanding the underlying meaning, the unspoken emotions, and the hidden motivations. It's about reading between the lines and responding in a way that moves the negotiation forward. You must learn to listen with an open mind, suspending your own judgments and assumptions. This will allow you to fully understand the other person's perspective. You'll find that this not only strengthens your position but also builds trust and rapport, key elements of successful negotiation. Responding strategically, on the other hand, requires careful thought. Resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead, pause and consider your words carefully. Your response should be aimed at advancing your interests but also at addressing the concerns of the other party. It's a delicate balance, but a necessary one. Remember, your goal is not to win an argument but to reach an agreement that satisfies both parties. So listen to understand, not to respond. And when you do respond, do so in a way that demonstrates your understanding, respects the other person's viewpoint, and moves the negotiation towards a mutually beneficial outcome. Mastering the art of listening and responding strategically will profoundly enhance your negotiation skills, empowering you to get what you want from people in a way that also respects their needs and interests. It's a win-win situation. Chapter 7. Handling Difficult Negotiation Scenarios. Traversing the treacherous waters of difficult negotiation scenarios can test your skills to their limits, but don't fret, you're more equipped for this than you might think. It's all about using what you've got and being strategic about it. Let's say you're dealing with a stubborn counterpart who refuses to budge from their standpoint. Instead of firing back, aim to understand their perspective. Ask probing questions, display empathy, and validate their concerns. This can take the wind out of their sails, and soon they might be more open to your proposals. Encountering a bluff. It's easy to panic, but remember, knowledge is power. Do your homework, come prepared with facts and figures, and call their bluff tactfully. If they're bluffing about a better offer, ask for details. Use your discernment and intuition. If something doesn't add up, it's probably a bluff. In high-stakes negotiations, emotions can run high. It's vital to keep your cool and not let emotions cloud your judgment. Practice emotional intelligence. Acknowledge your feelings, but don't let them steer the ship. If things get heated, take a brief breather. You can always come back to the table when the atmosphere is more conducive to a constructive conversation. Handling difficult negotiations is not about winning battles but about finding common ground and building bridges. It's about turning adversity into opportunity and charting a course through choppy waters with grace and tenacity. You've got this. The power of negotiation is within you, waiting to be tapped. Chapter 8. Overcoming Objections and Roadblocks. Traversing through objections and roadblocks can seem overwhelming, but armed with the right tools, you have the power to overcome these challenges. Remember, negotiation isn't a battlefield, but a playing field where you're seeking a win-win result. Firstly, don't fear objections. They're not personal attacks. Rather, they're opportunities to understand the other party's concerns. By listening actively, you'll uncover hidden motivations and fears, which can help you tailor your responses. Don't rush to counter immediately. Instead, demonstrate empathy. Use phrases like, "I understand where you're coming from," to show respect for their viewpoint. This softens the ground for your counterarguments, making them more receptive. When presenting your counterargument, be firm yet flexible. Use facts and data to back up your points. This gives you credibility and makes your argument harder to refute. But be willing to adapt. Rigidity can escalate tension while flexibility fosters collaboration. Sometimes you'll encounter roadblocks. These are more serious than objections, as they often indicate a fundamental disagreement. Here, creative problem-solving is key. Look for alternative solutions, propose compromises, or suggest taking a short break to cool down emotions and regroup thoughts. Lastly, stay patient. Overcoming objections and roadblocks takes time. Don't get frustrated or impatient, as this can damage the relationship and jeopardize the negotiation. Chapter 9. Negotiating with different personality types. Traversing the labyrinth of unique personality types can profoundly impact your negotiation success. Recognize that not everyone is like you, thinking, feeling, or reacting in the same way. The key to effective negotiation lies in understanding the personality type of the person you're dealing with and tailoring your approach accordingly. For instance, when dealing with an analytical type, they crave data, facts, and logic, so present your case with hard numbers and clear rationale. Negotiating with a driver? They're results-oriented, preferring directness and brevity. Be straight, concise, and focused on the goal. Amiable types value relationships and harmony, so establish rapport, show empathy, and avoid confrontation. Finally, expressive types thrive on enthusiasm, vision, and interaction. Engage them with your energy, ideas, and active participation. Remember, it's not about changing who you are. It's about adapting your style to connect better with the other party. Don't see it as being manipulative. Rather, see it as being flexible and considerate. It's all about striking a balance between asserting your interests and respecting theirs. Identifying personality types may seem complex initially, but with practice, you'll be able to read people more accurately and quickly. It's like learning a new language, the language of personalities. And once you're fluent, you'll be amazed at how much more productive and successful your negotiations become. Chapter 10. Using persuasive language and body language. Diving into the domain of persuasive language and body language, it's crucial to realize that your words and nonverbal cues play a pivotal role in the negotiation process. It's not only about what you say, but also how you say it and how you present yourself. Your language should be clear, concise, and positive. Assert your viewpoints, but remember to adopt a tone that fosters dialogue rather than shutting it down. Show empathy, actively listen, and use phrases like, "I understand your perspective," or "I see where you're coming from." Avoid aggressive or confrontational language, which only serves to create resistance and tension. When it comes to body language, your aim should be to come across as confident, open, and engaged. Keep your posture upright but relaxed. Avoid crossing your arms, as this can seem too defensive or closed off. Maintain good eye contact without staring, showing that you're actively engaged and interested in what the other person is saying. Remember, your facial expressions also convey a lot. Don't underestimate the power of a genuine smile in creating a positive, friendly atmosphere. But also verify that your expressions align with the tone and content of the conversation. In effect, combining persuasive language with effective body language can greatly enhance your negotiations. It's about creating rapport, showing understanding, and establishing trust. With these tools in your arsenal, you're well on your way to achieving your negotiation goals. Chapter 11. Identifying and leveraging your strengths. Stepping into your power involves identifying and leveraging your strengths in a negotiation. You've got unique skills and abilities that set you apart, and it's vital to recognize and utilize them to your advantage. Understanding your strengths assists you in building a robust negotiation strategy. Are you an excellent communicator, or perhaps a skilled problem solver? Maybe you're known for your empathy or your ability to stay calm under pressure. These are all strengths that can be incredibly useful in a negotiation. If you're not sure what your strengths are, take some time to reflect on your past successes. What skills were key to those achievements? Chances are, those are your strengths. Once you've identified your strengths, it's time to leverage them in your negotiation. Use your communication skills to clearly articulate your position and your problem-solving skills to generate creative solutions. If empathy is your strength, Use it to understand the other party's perspective and devise strategies that address their needs as well as yours. But remember, leveraging your strengths doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses. It's important to be aware of your limitations and to work on improving them. However, the primary focus should always be on capitalizing on your strengths. Your ability to successfully negotiate is directly proportional to your knowledge and understanding of your unique strengths. Chapter 12. Concessions and Compromise in Negotiations. In the world of negotiations, the ability to make concessions and reach compromises is a critical skill. It's not about winning or losing, but arriving at a solution that benefits all parties involved. Consider this as an art where balance, timing, and strategic thinking are essential. You're negotiating for a reason, right? You want something, but so does the other party. The secret is finding that sweet spot, the middle ground that satisfies everyone. Concessions and compromises are the tools to find this spot, but remember, they're not a sign of weakness. They demonstrate your flexibility, understanding, and willingness to work towards a solution. When making concessions, be strategic. Don't give away too much too soon. Start from a point higher than what you're willing to settle for, so you've got room to compromise. But don't aim too high that it becomes unreasonable. The goal here is to maintain a balance, to show that you're serious and realistic. Compromise, on the other hand, is a two-way street. It's about give and take. You give up something, and so does the other party. This fosters a sense of fairness and mutual respect. It shows you're not just out for yourself, but you're considering their needs too. Chapter 13. Negotiating Multiple Issues Simultaneously. Your negotiation skills are put to the test when you have to tackle multiple issues simultaneously. It's like juggling flaming torches while balancing on a tightrope. But don't panic. You've got this. The key is to break down your issues into bite-sized pieces and prioritize them. Which issue is most important to you? Which is least? Knowing this will help you strategize. You won't win every battle, but you can still win the war. Next, consider the other party's priorities. Understanding their perspective can give you leverage. For instance, if you know they're keen on one particular issue, you can use this to gain concessions on another less significant one. Remember to keep the conversation focused. It's easy to get sidetracked when there are so many topics on the table. Stick to one issue at a time. Resolve it before moving on to the next. This prevents confusion and guarantees each issue gets the attention it deserves. Finally, don't rush. Negotiating multiple issues takes time. Speeding through the process can lead to mistakes, misunderstandings, and missed opportunities. Patience, as they say, is a virtue. Negotiating multiple issues simultaneously can be complex, but with the right approach, you can turn this challenge into an opportunity. You can use it to showcase your negotiation skills, build stronger relationships, and secure better deals. Chapter 14. Emotional Intelligence in Negotiations. While mastering the art of handling multiple issues at once is a valuable skill in negotiation, there's another factor you might not have considered: your emotional intelligence. This often overlooked asset can be the game changer in your negotiation endeavors. Harnessing the power of emotional intelligence allows you to empathize with your negotiation counterparts, giving you an edge. You're not just understanding their words, you're understanding their emotions and motivations. This insight can help you develop strategies that address their concerns, making them more likely to agree with your proposals. Moreover, it's important to be mindful of your own emotions during negotiations. Let's face it, negotiations can get heated, and it's easy to let your emotions take the driver's seat. But with emotional intelligence, you learn to manage your feelings, keeping your reactions in check and maintaining a level-headed approach. Emotional intelligence doesn't just help you keep your cool, it also helps you read the room. You'll be more adept at picking up social cues, interpreting body language, and gauging the emotional climate. This ability to read between the lines can be a powerful tool, helping you adapt your strategy accordingly. Chapter 15. Gathering relevant information and data. Before stepping into a negotiation, you need to arm yourself with as much relevant information and data as possible. This is not a process to be taken lightly, as the quality and depth of your knowledge can substantially tilt the scales in your favor. Your ability to gather and interpret relevant data is a clear determinant of your negotiation prowess. Start by understanding who you're negotiating with. What are their needs, their desires, their fears? What motivates them? This information will allow you to tailor your approach appropriately and identify potential concessions. Don't limit your research to the other party. Scrutinize your position as well. Understand your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Next, analyze the context of the negotiation. What are the prevailing market conditions? Are there any political, economic, social, or technological factors that may impact the negotiation? Understanding context allows you to foresee potential challenges and opportunities. Remember, negotiation isn't just about winning or losing, it's about creating value. Having exhaustive data helps you identify areas of common ground, areas where you can create win-win situations. It's not just about taking, but also about giving. The more you know, the better you can give. Lastly, always be on the lookout for new information, even during the negotiation. Stay flexible and adaptable. Data isn't static, it changes, and so should your strategies. Chapter 16. Setting clear objectives and priorities. In the domain of negotiation, setting clear objectives and priorities is a critical step. Knowing exactly what you want to achieve and what matters most to you provides a clear roadmap to guide your negotiations. You must first establish your objectives. What do you hope to accomplish from the negotiation? Is it a lower price, better terms, or perhaps a stronger relationship? Be precise. Vague objectives might leave you feeling unsatisfied, even if you've won the negotiation on paper. Next, identify your priorities. What aspects of the deal are non-negotiable, and which ones are you willing to be flexible on? Prioritizing helps you focus your energy on what's truly important and avoid getting caught up in peripheral issues. Remember, not everything holds the same value. But setting your objectives and priorities is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process. As the negotiation progresses, you may need to adjust your objectives or reprioritize based on new information or changes in the situation. Stay adaptable and open to revision. Lastly, keep your objectives and priorities to yourself. Revealing too much can weaken your position. The other party doesn't need to know every detail of your game plan. Chapter 17. Negotiating on behalf of others. Negotiating on behalf of others can be a formidable task, yet it's often an integral part of many roles, from salespeople to diplomats, attorneys to business leaders. You're not just representing your interests but those of someone else, and that carries a hefty responsibility. Yet it's a skill that can be honed, and in doing so, you'll find it an incredibly powerful tool in your arsenal. Firstly, understand your client's needs. It's vital to get a clear picture of what they want and what they're willing to compromise on. Communication is key here. Don't just assume.
Yes.
Understand their priorities, their limits, their desired outcome. Without this understanding, you're negotiating blind. Secondly, empathize with the other party. Yes, you're representing your client, but successful negotiation isn't about winning at all costs. It's about finding common ground. Understanding the other party's needs and goals can help you find win-win solutions that leave everyone feeling satisfied. Chapter 18. Dealing with power imbalances. Power imbalances can often skew the negotiation process, painting an intimidating picture for the party with less perceived power. But remember, this doesn't mean you're at a disadvantage. Perception is not always reality. You have more power than you think, and it's time to leverage it. Consider this seemingly powerful party needs something from you, else they wouldn't be at the negotiation table. You've got something they want. Recognize this and let it boost your confidence. The key to dealing with power imbalances is to understand your value, your strengths, and to communicate them effectively. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Knowledge is power. The more you know about the other party's needs and interests, the stronger your position becomes. Inquire about their goals, objectives, and constraints. This information is useful in crafting a proposal that aligns with their interests and yours. Assertive communication is vital. Be clear about what you want and why it's important, but also listen and empathize with the other party. This builds rapport and trust, which shifts power dynamics in your favor. Chapter 19. Negotiating in high-stakes situations. High-stakes situations often demand an exceptional level of skill and strategy. You're not just haggling over a trinket at a flea market. You're potentially shaping the future of a company, a career, or even a life. The stakes are high, and so are the pressures. But don't let the enormity of the situation intimidate you. Instead, harness this pressure as a motivating force to drive your preparation and execution. Preparation is key in high-stakes negotiations. Arm yourself with as much information as possible about the other party, the issue at stake, and the potential consequences of different outcomes. This knowledge will anchor you, keeping you focused and clear-headed during the negotiation process. Next, remember to maintain emotional control. High-stakes situations can easily trigger strong emotional reactions that can cloud your judgment and compromise your position. Stay calm, composed, and focused. This will signal to the other party that you're a formidable negotiator, encouraging them to take you seriously. Lastly, be flexible and adaptive. High-stakes negotiations are often unpredictable, and a rigid approach can backfire. Be willing to modify your strategy as the situation evolves, showing the other party that you're not just about winning but about finding a mutually beneficial solution. High-stakes negotiations require high-level skills, but with the right preparation, emotional control, and flexibility, you can navigate these challenging situations successfully. And remember, every negotiation, no matter how high the stakes, is an opportunity for growth and learning. So embrace the challenge and harness the power of negotiation. Chapter 20. Avoiding common negotiation mistakes. While mastering high-stakes negotiations is an invaluable skill, sidestepping common pitfalls is equally important. One typical mistake you could make is failing to prepare adequately. Don't underestimate the power of homework. Research your counterpart, their interests, strengths, and weaknesses. Understand the context, the stakes, and possible outcomes. This will give you the edge and boost your confidence. Another common blunder is being overly focused on your own perspective. This tunnel vision can blind you to the interests and concerns of the other party. Remember, negotiation isn't a battle to be won, it's a discussion for mutual gain. So empathize and listen actively. This will not only make your counterpart feel valued, but also reveal insights that could steer the negotiation in your favor. Don't let emotions override your judgment either. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but it's critical to stay calm and composed. If you sense things are getting heated, don't hesitate to take a break. Regain your equilibrium before proceeding. Lastly, avoid the mistake of conceding too soon. Patience is a virtue in negotiations. Stand your ground respectfully and assertively. However, don't be rigid. Being flexible doesn't mean you're weak. It shows you're solution-oriented. Chapter 21. Maintaining a positive negotiation mindset. Maintaining a positive mindset is your secret weapon in any negotiation. It's not just about being upbeat. It's about viewing the negotiation as a problem to be solved, not a battle to be won. It's about understanding that each party has something valuable to offer and that compromise can lead to a win-win situation. Remember, negotiations are not a zero-sum game. You're not trying to rob the other party. You're seeking to find a solution that satisfies both sides. This perspective encourages cooperation, fosters respect, and promotes productive dialogue. Positivity also helps you remain resilient in the face of setbacks. Negotiations can be arduous and can often feel like a tug of war. Yet by maintaining a positive mindset, you're more likely to persevere and explore creative solutions. It's important, however, to note that a positive mindset is not synonymous with being naive or passive. Assertiveness is essential, and so is the ability to stand your ground. But assertiveness, coupled with positivity, guarantees that you express your needs without being aggressive or confrontational. It creates a conducive atmosphere for negotiation where everyone feels heard and valued. Chapter 22. Adapting negotiation strategies for different contexts. Just as maintaining positivity can steer a negotiation, tailoring your strategies to suit different contexts is another key to success. You see, not every negotiation is the same. Different settings, people, and circumstances call for different tactics. It's not just about winning an argument. It's about understanding the dynamic and adapting your approach accordingly. Consider a negotiation at work. You might use a more formal, data-driven strategy here. Bring hard facts, figures, and compelling arguments to the table. Demonstrate the value of your proposal, keeping in mind the company's objectives. You'll need to be assertive yet respectful, considering the professional setting. Now imagine you're negotiating with a friend or loved one. This situation requires a softer, more empathetic approach. You'll want to listen carefully, express your viewpoints honestly, and seek a solution that benefits both parties. It's not about winning but finding a compromise that strengthens your relationship. You'll also need to adapt to cultural contexts. In some cultures, negotiations are direct and to the point, while in others, they involve more subtlety and diplomacy. Understanding these cultural nuances can give you an edge and help you build strong, respectful relationships. In essence, the key to successful negotiation lies in your ability to adapt. It's about understanding the context, the people involved, and the desired outcome, then tailoring your strategy to suit. Master this, and you'll not only become a competent negotiator, but you'll also forge stronger, more beneficial relationships in all aspects of your life. Chapter 23. Negotiating online and in virtual environments. In the domain of the digital age, negotiating online and in virtual environments has become increasingly prevalent. You can't ignore the power of this space for negotiation. It's where deals are made, collaborations are formed, and agreements are sealed. But here's the catch. The rules for negotiation in the digital sphere are not the same as they are face-to-face. Now imagine yourself in an online negotiation. You're not sitting across the table from your counterpart. You're in separate parts of the world, connected through screens. You don't see their facial expressions, and they can't read your body language. This lack of nonverbal cues makes the situation trickier, but don't worry, it's not an insurmountable challenge. In online negotiations, clarity is king. You need to articulate your points precisely, as nuances can easily be lost in digital communication. Use clear, concise language, and always confirm that your meaning was understood as intended. Next, maintain a respectful and professional tone throughout. Remember that written words can sometimes seem harsher than spoken ones, so be mindful of your phrasing. Finally, patience is a virtue in online negotiations. Due to time differences or the asynchronous nature of some communication tools, responses may not be immediate. Don't rush the process. Allow time for thoughtful responses. Mastering online negotiation is an essential skill in today's world. With practice and awareness, you can turn the challenges of virtual negotiation to your advantage, securing better deals and relationships in the process. Chapter 24. Negotiating with diverse cultural backgrounds. When you step into the sphere of negotiation with individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds, it's like entering a new world. Each culture carries unique values, communication styles, and business etiquette. Understanding these differences and respecting them is a significant step toward successful negotiations. Let's take an example. In some cultures, a direct approach is appreciated, while others might see it as rude and disrespectful. So before you meet your counterpart, it's worth spending time to research their cultural norms. Understanding their perspective can help you build strong rapport, which is essential for negotiation. Remember, it's not just about the words you say. Body language is equally important. In some cultures, maintaining eye contact is a sign of respect, while in others, it's considered confrontational. Similarly, some cultures value personal space more than others. If you're unaware of these nuances, you could inadvertently offend your counterpart and jeopardize the negotiation process. But don't let these differences intimidate you. Instead, use them as a tool to build trust and mutual respect. By showing that you understand and respect their cultural norms, you can encourage them to open up and share their needs and goals. This will enable you to present your case in a way that aligns with their values and expectations, increasing your chances of a successful negotiation. In a diverse world, being culturally competent isn't just a nice-to-have skill, it's a necessity. So embrace the diversity and use it to your advantage in negotiations. Chapter 25. Continuously improving your negotiation skills. In mastering the art of negotiation, you shouldn't stop at competence. You must aim for excellence. Regularly analyze your past negotiations, not to brood over mistakes, but to identify areas to strengthen and tactics that worked. Adaptability is crucial. As you grow, so must your negotiation skills, ensuring you can navigate any situation with finesse and confidence. Over time, mastering the art of negotiation requires consistent, focused effort. It's not a one-on-one deal. You can't simply learn the basics and expect to become proficient overnight. Just like any other skill, it demands regular practice and deliberate refinement. You might be wondering, why bother? Well, the answer is simple. To get what you want from people, you must be adept at negotiation. It's a tool that can be wielded in almost every facet of life, from business dealings to personal relationships. The better you get at negotiation, the better your outcomes will be. So how do you go about honing your negotiation skills? Start by setting clear, achievable goals. Maybe you want to become a more effective communicator, or perhaps you're aiming to win more deals at work. Whatever your goals are, having them in sight will keep you motivated and on track. Next, commit to regular practice. This could mean engaging in more negotiations, or it could involve learning new strategies and techniques. Remember, progress may be slow, but it's sure. Stick with it, and before long, you'll see your negotiation skills reaching new heights. Reflecting on your past experiences is a powerful way to sharpen your negotiation skills further. After each negotiation, take time to review what happened. Did you achieve your goals? Were there unexpected obstacles? What could you have done differently? This isn't about beating yourself up over mistakes. It's about learning, growing, and improving. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. Be honest and objective. You're not doing yourself any favors by sugarcoating the truth. Embrace your flaws as opportunities for growth. Celebrate your successes, but don't forget to analyze them too. What strategies worked best? What tactics fell flat? By understanding your triumphs, you can replicate them in future negotiations. Consider seeking feedback from others involved in the negotiation. Their insights can reveal blind spots and offer fresh perspectives. Listen to their experiences, opinions, and suggestions. Remember, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about gaining knowledge and becoming a better negotiator. Analyzing past negotiations is a crucial step in your journey to becoming a skilled negotiator. It's not always easy, but it's absolutely worth it. Keep pushing, keep learning, and you'll see the fruits of your labor in your future negotiations. Chapter 26. Embrace adaptability. Always remember, adaptability is your ace in the game of negotiation. It's the ability to shift your strategy on the fly, to respond to unexpected situations with grace and poise. It's being flexible enough to change your approach when the existing one isn't delivering results. You're not a one-trick pony. You're a master negotiator, capable of adjustments as needed. Perhaps you're thinking, I've got my negotiation style, and it works just fine. But let's face it, not every negotiation is the same. What works beautifully in one situation may fall flat in another. Don't get stuck in a rut. Embrace the power of adaptability. Start by being open to feedback. Listen to what the other party is saying and not saying. Learn from your past negotiations. Understand where you could have handled things differently. Practice different negotiation strategies. Familiarize yourself with various tactics, and most importantly, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. With adaptability on your side, you'll see the power in negotiation truly come alive. You'll negotiate with clarity, confidence, and a newfound flexibility that will keep your opponents guessing. So embrace adaptability. It's your secret weapon in the grand theater of life. Negotiation is your script to success. Don't forget, it's about building bridges, not walls. Understand the fundamentals, strategize, prepare, build trust, and communicate effectively. Adapt to different settings and cultures, and never stop refining your craft. Harness the power of negotiation, and you'll not only get what you want, but also foster relationships that are beneficial and long-lasting. Go on, take the stage and make your mark. Thanks for listening to or reading this from Audiobook Library 20.